My name is Matt Loughlin. I was at Seton Hall University from the fall of 1975 and graduated in 1979. I wish I could say I chose Seton Hall University because it was predestined somehow, that it was always my dream to come here, that WSOU was always my goal. The fact of the matter is, when I graduated from high school, I wanted to stay local. And I know the system has changed dramatically going through it with my children, but I actually just applied to two schools, Rutgers and Seton Hall. Got accepted at both and decided on Seton Hall after visiting the campus. Had a friend, a classmate from high school who was also going here, and I thought, all right, what the heck. So it was really kind of serendipity. I wish I could say I put more thinking into it than that, but it was just a matter of choosing one out of two, and Seton Hall was the choice. Since graduation from Seton Hall, I've been very lucky. I've never had to use that business degree, not just once. I've been able to use the experience I got at WSOU to keep me in this business. And I've been fortunate. I've never had to leave the area, too. After I graduated, I worked in radio for a year, but while I was here at Seton Hall, fellow graduate Bob Lee, a very prominent alumnus of WSOU, was working for a local television station, and they were televising a high school basketball game out of Walsh, and he wanted to stop by and just walk through the radio station and I guess kind of relive memories. And as a fan of Seton Hall, he was listening to the games, and it was my voice that he had heard, and just, again, serendipity, sometimes fate enters your life. I happened to be in the station at the time, so we introduced ourselves to each other more directly. He introduces himself to me, and he says, look, I'm working for this television station. We're based out of East Orange. Are you a communications major? No, I'm a business major. Well, I can't offer you an internship, and I can't get you credits, but I also can't pay you money, but I can get you experience. Why don't you come on over? So I walked over, and that kind of was my introduction to television. After graduating from Seton Hall, I worked in radio for a year, but I had always maintained contact with the people at the station, which was then called TV3. Ultimately, they had an opening. I was doing mostly news in radio. I wanted to be in sports. The opening was in sports, and I moved over to do television. Spent the bulk of my career in television, eventually moving up the ladder, not only at TV3, but then Sports Channel, doing regional sports, Madison Square Garden Network, covering the Mets and covering the Devils, a little bit of the New Jersey Nets at the time. And so I was able to stay in this business, in this area for my entire career. 8 years ago, an opportunity opened up in radio to do play-by-play for the New Jersey Devils. I had been covering them on the television side, doing pre-game and intermissions and post-games. And I thought, you know what a chance to get back into my first love, because when I went here and moved into WSOU and really threw myself into it, I thought it would be really cool to be a team's play-by-play man. And this was my opportunity a little later in my career, and I hopped on it, and it's been a blast. There's no doubt that WSOU has played a part in my success, a big part in my success, because when I came here, first off, raw as could be, not having any idea what it meant to be professional, but immediately walking in here, you were taught about professionalism. It was not just men and women getting together for fun, and if mistakes were made, who cares? It was quickly made clear to me that there's an audience out there that comes to expect a level of professionalism from WSOU, and you have to keep up with us, or otherwise there's no room for you here. So not only did it teach me the way to be a pro, it also gave me a lot of skills. I mean, you did a little bit of everything here. While I spent most of my time on the sports side, I did news, and I would do some weather on the newscasts that they had at the time, and I would do some DJing work, disc jockey work, and I would do some engineering work. So it was a little bit of everything, and while the focus was on sports, it made me realize there would be a lot of paths if the on-air side didn't work out that I might be able to pursue. So there were a lot of factors in what SOU has provided to me. Those are a couple. The other is there were people who preceded me who had success in the field, so there was always a sense of, wow, if they can make it, I can too. So there's no doubt SOU was critical to my success. I think WSOU still provides that opportunity for students to come in and work their craft in play-by-play. And so I think, given the fact that there is a great history here, there are a number of people in the business, in the sports world particularly, my field, who have had an association with WSOU, opens up some doors. I think the alumni attachment resonates with me, and I'm sure with a lot of others, so that if someone calls you and says, hey, I'm at Seton Hall, or I just graduated from WSOU, they're like, hey, that's my path too. What I find in this business is that people understand that someone had to give them a chance too. And most want to return that favor and play it forward and say, look, you know, if Bob Lee, in this case, didn't open that door on the television side for me, I'm not so sure that I wouldn't have stayed in radio, but I don't know it, and it led to a great run. So Bob was very good to me, and then the Devils were very good to let me do play-by-play after not having done it for a long time. So if people aren't willing to open doors, take a chance, help you out, then maybe you go nowhere. So I was fortunate enough to have those people help me, so why wouldn't I help someone else? So yeah, I think that when a resume comes across your desk, or a text, or an email, whatever, I think the WSOU label certainly is very important. I'm not sure if I didn't go to Seton Hall that I'd have a career. WRSU, the Rutgers station, certainly offers an opportunity for students. And maybe if I had accepted and gone to Rutgers instead of Seton Hall, things would have worked out the same, but I don't think so. WSOU has such a better reputation, has a greater alumni network. It seems to me a greater sense that if you come here and you work, you can live the dream. And I've spoken with other people from other universities who tried their hand at radio, and that's what it was. It was something to do. Here at WSOU, here at Seton Hall, from my time, before my time, since my time, there's always been a sense that, yeah, there might be some people who just want to do it for the 3 or 4 years that they're involved, but most of the people here love the business, and so this is your first opportunity. So if I didn't go to Seton Hall, I'm not really sure that I would have this 30 years that I've been in the business. The only regret I might have is I should have lived on campus all 4 years. I commuted my first 2 and lived the last 2 here on campus. If I could change that and go back and only change that, that would be the only change I would make.